Well, happy Thursday, everyone. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, co-host of The Press Box. Just waiting for our host, Doug Smith. He's just having a few little technical difficulties this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. So welcome to The Press Box. Doug and I today are going to spend some time together talking about some leading edge wellness services that are available. And thank you so much if you're here live with us today. As soon as he gets here, I'll bring him in. We have a voice for sure. We just didn't have his handsome face on the camera. So as soon as we can get him in here, we'll get started. But in the meantime, I hope you're all having a great week and trusting that the new year is starting off the way that you want it to, that you've set some things you want to make happen in the new year and that's going to work for you. So I see Doug is here. He may not have a camera, but he has a voice. So let me just bring him into the stage here. Good afternoon, Doug.
Oh, good afternoon, Dr. Laurie. I'm so sorry. My iPhone doesn't want to let me engage with the camera for some reason, and it's not like you have to see me. I mean, I did put my makeup on and everything, but I just hit the camera button and nothing seems to happen.
Well, that's
so
okay.
I apologize very much. So thank you
Right.
for coming. And I am wearing blue. That's the thing. Is
I figured that out.
It's so sad that I'm going to have to send you a picture.
That's all right. I bet you've got your blue Apollo shirt on.
I do.
Awesome.
Thank you. Yes.
Awesome.
So how has your week been?
Oh, I'm so excited, Doug. Today, my book is completely done. Went to the publisher today. Goes to print on Friday of next week. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. So I put a little post up on Facebook about it. And so that's been my day. I've been up at 5 a.m. writing. I have discovered that my best time to write is 5 a.m.
Man, yeah, good. That's excellent.
No disruptions, no distractions, no anything. So I get to write for 2 or 3 hours and then it's done for the day. And I'm like, wow, it took me all these years to figure that out.
I can't wait to see your new book. I can't wait to get it in the mail when it's ready.
You will. You're on the top of the list.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, getting up early in the morning is such a great habit. And then even when you let it slip for a day or two, I can't imagine 2 days, but I've let it slip for a day where you just lie there and you should be getting up and doing something, but you don't. And then you're sluggish for the whole day.
I know. Even if I lay down later in the day to make up for it, like a half an hour, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth it.
And I wanted to show you around. The whole plan today for me was to show people around the new clinic, and I'm not going to be able to show you around the new clinic, but we can talk about what it's all about.
Yeah, describe it to us, what it is, where it is. Because today I really wanted us to talk about the Apollo Center. And, last week we featured me and my book. So today I'd love for you to be featured with what you're doing and the work you're doing there. So why don't we just start with a little description of the location and the building, and what does that look like when people walk in through the front door? What do they see?
Yeah, so at Apollo, it's a very open concept. We have a gymnasium in here. It's about 4,000 square feet of space with physio rooms and chiropractic rooms, but the main thing is the gym area, and that's where the magic happens, where when you get yourself moving. We have rooms for assessment, but we're here to restore balance and conquer anxiety, right? And help people take charge of their mental and physical well-being. And in that order, I'd like to see them doing it mentally first, and then making sure that's all in check so they're safe. For example, balance we start to lose at age between 30 and 40, and people don't know that. Why not keep it up?
Oh my goodness.
Why not keep it up, right? So that's what we're doing. We're helping people conquer anxiety, restore their balance, up their energy levels, increase their spatial capacity so that they, with multiple object tracking, these simple, don't have to sweat, don't have to do anything. You just have to participate in the exercise, and you stimulate neuroplasticity, which is the ability for us to grow new brain cells. And who doesn't want more brain cells, right?
I could use a few.
And we've got this really cool program. It's 16 weeks long. We use cutting edge assessments and targeting, and like we target the interventions we're going to do, and then we measure everything we do. So to fully understand the needs of the patient, we need the comprehensive self-assessment that provides the valuable insights that we need to be able to put the program together and make it predictable. And if you're not measuring your central nervous system, what are you measuring? Because that's the thing that controls the physical and the emotional, your central nervous system. And so we make sure we measure the central nervous system, and this is how we do it. So bioimpedance electrical analysis, it measures the body composition. Right. It measures the hydration levels and the cellular health. And it can identify how stress and anxiety is impacting you physically. So that translates over. And we get that measurement. And then we put you on this Pro Balance 360 piece of technology, which evaluates your balance and coordination using technology, and it pinpoints the weaknesses, and then it assigns you exercises that you can do where you just have to apply a little pressure on your left side and on your right side, and like you're surfing, right? And eventually you start to feel what it's like not to be off balance, because when you become off balance, you usually don't even know it because it happens so slowly. So we're able to allow you to feel what it's like to actually have your balance back. And sometimes it feels really cockeyed, like it feels really like strange, but the technology doesn't lie. And if you keep leaning like that, one day you're just going to fall over, right? So, right. And then there's the Pro Adjuster SRT. What it does is it from the outside, it analyzes the spine alignment and the spine function.
Wow.
Right? So it's able to identify tension or misalignment that can, cause more anxiety, frustration, angst, and can cause balance issues. And one of the key things that people don't know is grip strength. So we measure your grip strength, make sure we understand that, because that's going to be an area where you're going to improve if you improve your neurological function. Because it tracks physical strength and nervous system function. Because when you get your nervous system functioning better, you can squeeze stronger. And that's a sign of longevity, right? The stronger the grip, the better. Right. So overall, like for health and balance. And then there's movement assessment. So we examine how the body moves, because moving is living, right?
Yes.
And highlighting restrictions or compensations that can cause anxiety-driven muscle tension. And that's the muscle tension that you get from just being frustrated.
Right.
If you have muscle tension from being frustrated, you want to be able to relax that state so that you can get out of that psychological loop. And then we do a neural tracker assessment, which is a cognitive training tool that improves focus, it improves mental clarity, and it improves reaction time. And so it helps your brain and body work together more efficiently. For hockey players, for example, if you get on this tool, you're going to improve your spatial capacity, which is what Wayne Gretzky had a lot of, because he could predict by taking a quick snapshot, looking around, seeing all the players, and then within 3 to 5 seconds, he would know where those players were going based on their trajectory.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so the ability for a human to do that and speed that process up increases their neurocognitive ability. So it actually makes a person smarter. But just imagine if people could keep their driver's license for another few years because they did an exercise for 20 minutes a week. And they didn't even have to break a sweat. Yet what it does for them is it allows them to pass certain tests, right?
Right.
So week 1 to 4, we do assessment, initial interventions. We begin with a deeper assessments. Week 5 to 6, we do strengthening and resilience, which includes the PEMF, the pulsing electromagnetic fields. And we work on your balance and coordination, neurotracker training, and relaxation techniques, which include meditation and understanding what that can do for you. And then weeks 9 to 12, it's about optimizing function and confidence, focused on refining the balance. So by week 9 to 12, you'll be able to see the improvements, right? And if you can't see the improvements, if your brain can't see the improvements, it's not going to be as motivated as it might be.
Uh-huh.
So we work on the cognitive skills while developing the long-term habits and managing anxiety triggers, right, to improve movement patterns. And then the final 4 weeks, 13 to 16, it's about sustaining balance, intermittent, get you on the ski hill. You're doing better now, back to making sure that you're sustaining it. Long-term recovery development, personalized strategies for maintaining progress. And we keep your anxiety and balance issues under control, right? And that's so important, keeping the anxiety and your balance under control will give you a longer life, and it'll be a happier life, and you'll enjoy it more. So that's pretty much the program, Laurie. There's some people actually going through it now. I was gonna, if I had my camera today, I'd be showing it, but next week I'll make sure that I'm here and have this functioning properly and be able to show everybody exactly what we're doing. And the results are staggering, because once you touch somebody's central nervous system, and you know this because that's what you do, right? You touch their mind, you touch their brain. Once you do that for them, the amount of trust that is cultivated is massive. Right, and when there's trust between patient and client, their success the success ratios just go through the roof, Laurie.
Absolutely. So I have another question for you, and thank you for sharing that information. That's amazing. So typically, I know that we could say everybody that's got a pulse can benefit, right? But who typically would be your clients that are open and ready and willing? Are they male, female, professionals, not? Are they recovering from an accident? Without maybe going, well, everybody that has a pulse needs this. I know that everybody that has a pulse needs what I do, but who are your major initial, shall we say, warm market clients? What's a client profile look like?
Right now, the sharp edge of the wedge is military.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Oh,
the
cool.
people I put the people who are in the most pain at the front of the line.
Right.
In the triage that I do in this area. So we're going to make this available to any veteran that wants this, or any veteran who has a family member who wants this, and it's going to be absolutely no charge.
Wow.
No charge. We're actually putting a new office in the front of the building that allows us to bring Veterans for Healing in, which does all the paperwork. And if you need any help doing the paperwork with Veterans Affairs, we'll do it all for you. We have an office just to take care of all that business. We got all the connections, all of them.
That is so wonderful.
Isn't it amazing? And then they'll be able to come in, and they don't have to worry about where it's coming from. If they're struggling at all, it's just come, and we're going to spend some time getting better and getting you going in a different direction, right? Getting your neurological system, functioning more normally.
That is so amazing, Doug.
Yes,
That touches my heart. Wow.
So anybody that's listening can go to Veterans for Healing in Canada. They're on the East Coast, and They the story behind this is they run quite an operation with dozens and dozens of employees just processing, helping people, process things so that and that's the hardest thing is just maneuvering the system to be able to take care of yourself, right? And I know that even from hockey, even from playing, hockey, there's all these little things and litigations and agreements and I'm never really sure.
Yeah.
I'm never really sure how it affects me, when because I'm at the older you get, the lower you drop down as far as priority goes. But there's still some benefits there that I'm sure I'm not getting that I could be getting. But it's so confusing, right?
Right, absolutely. And of course, when you're traumatized and you're living in trauma, anxiety, depression, your brain doesn't function the way you need it to in order to do that paperwork.
No, and neither does the position you held, on the front lines of the military. Does that, make it important for you to fill out paperwork? That's not what you did, right?
No,
You were trained. You were trained to do the opposite of that, right?
that's
Just
right.
get out there and protect
Fight.
everybody with fight and defend. And then somebody says, here, you need to negotiate with somebody about what you actually deserve or what
That's
you're
just,
actually entitled for, right?
yeah, that's just not right. There's something
I,
not right about that.
I know, and that's what happens is you end up having to negotiate for something that you're entitled to.
Yeah,
And we don't. Why should veterans be exposed to that with the amount of support there's supposed to be there? We try to set it up so like all that stuff. We got the number. We know the person to call. If they're not available, we know the person to call after them. So, if you're a veteran and you're local or you're not local and you want to step into this opportunity and program, like we'd love to have you for sure.
wow, that's amazing. So my next question is, could you give us an overview of who's on deck? Who are the professionals? A little bit about their background, maybe. So, providing the services. Who's providing the services?
Yeah, so we have a mix of chiropractors, physiotherapists, functional medicine doctors. Um, we have one gentleman who's written 2 textbooks for at a university level on functional medicine, and he's doing the laser treatments for us because you can use lasers to stimulate neuroplasticity. That's just it's a given right now. And so,
Okay.
the chiropractors would handle the assessments. We're extending ourselves out to the social worker environment, the psychologists. I'm dealing with a specific psychiatrist right now because a
Right.
lot of times what holds people up from getting help and support is they don't have the right people to be able to just say, okay, this is reasonable and sign off on it,
Right.
right? And
Especially in the alternative care,
yeah,
especially in what's non-conventional, right?
yes. So a kinesiologist is important, functional medicine is important, psychiatrist, psychologist, social worker. All those components need to be brought into play and then get functioning with a functioning system. I was actually just in looking at the intake forms, for the clinic and seeing how we can, improve them or maybe, cut some stuff out that we don't need anymore because those intake forms have to be continually changing, right, with the time. So
Yeah, definitely.
that's what my task was today was to come in and do this and show you the clinic, which I'm not getting the opportunity to do, but I'm exciting you so you'll be excited to see it when you get a chance.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, I have lots of reasons to come to Ontario when the weather's nice. Um, I have clients in Richmond and I have my publishers in Niagara Falls, and you guys are on the Ottawa River. And um, what is the
Oh,
actual address of the center if somebody wanted to come by and have a tour?
the actual address. I don't have it with me right here.
That's okay. Are you downtown or are you on the outskirts?
You know what I'm going to do though is I'm going to get the address right now. It'll just be a second.
Because maybe somebody listening would like to just drop by and have a look, see looky-loo, And I'll put it up on a banner once you give it to me, Doug.
Oh, okay. It's 2310
Yes.
Saint Laurent Boulevard.
Okay. Yes.
And the phone number is 613
Yes.
248 0800.
All right. I'm just going to put that up on a banner so that if anybody's listening or watching the show, whether it's today or down the road, this is where we're talking about. 2310 Saint Laurent Boulevard. Here's the phone number. And I'm sure you welcome people to come and have a look. Do they have to make an appointment? Can they walk in? How does that work?
They can do either or. And if they're not in town, if they're not in Ottawa, they can plug into Apollo because we have technology that you can use at home. As soon as you buy the subscription model from us for NeuroTracker, we send you, we mail you a pair of 3D glasses in the mail right away.
Oh, wow.
As soon as you get those 3D glasses, you download the app onto your computer at home, and you can do it on your TV as well. And you sit with your keyboard and you look at a cube, a three-dimensional cube that has balls bouncing around in it, and you have to pick the right balls, let's say. And if you do, the game speeds up. And if you get it wrong, the game slows down. So what it's doing is it's finding your brain's threshold, and then once it finds that threshold, it pushes that threshold inside the game.
How cool is that?
Yeah, and your brain grows. That's
cool.
The thing. It grows to adapt to the speed of multiple object tracking. Dr. Jocelyn Faubert at the University of Montreal. The stuff they're doing is phenomenal. Get this. So vertigo is one of those things that sits in between conscious and subconscious. And with an electrical charge, Laurie, with an electrical charge on the top of the head for people who have chronic vertigo, it can be detected. The charge can be sent off, and it covers the gap, and your vertigo goes away. So just with a simple electrical boom,
Wow. Now, I haven't had it for years, but it was chronic when I was in my 30s.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah. But 40 years ago, we didn't have the technology, did we?
No.
But it's terrible when you have it. When the first day that I got up and I was spinning, I thought I had a brain tumor. I really did. I thought I was like done. And it was vertigo.
Just a vacuum of your balance, huh?
Yes. So that is so cool. So many people struggle with that, and they've used medication. That doesn't work.
No.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I'm relating to that because of my personal experience, Doug. So thank you for that.
Well, and the technology isn't developed yet in the world of neuroscience yet to be for vertigo. It isn't ready, but the technology to speed up the human brain is ready, running, digitally available. You can get a subscription through us, and we'll get you set up. And if you live close by or you're within an hour or two, you can come into the clinic and we can assess you as well. No problem.
Yeah. Now, Kathy just is visiting us live today, and she said she has vertigo sometimes in June, which is allergy season for her, but I don't know that it's related to allergies. Do you?
Well, it could be the buildup of fluid in the ears, I mean,
yeah,
this is a very sensitive area with fluid and balance, sometimes that can be the cure itself is dealing with the inflammation and the amount of water in your cells, because it's like water in your cell system, inside the cell and outside the cell, doesn't allow the cell to work that well. It's like it drowns it. And when you have pain and you're inflamed, you don't know where the pain is manifesting. It's like if you, let me give you an example. So if you're at a swimming pool and I drop an electrical cable in there, you'll get electrocuted, but you won't know
Right.
where it came from.
Right.
Right. And so when your body's inflamed and there's water inside and outside of the cell, and you can't tell where the actual problem is. You have to solve the central nervous system's reaction to something that you don't know what it is, to reveal what it is. And you know, all the stuff the central nervous system does will block that from you physically, so you can't see it.
Right.
So that it's a matter of rejigging the order. You know, as we get more knowledge as a society, it's not a question of doing the right thing anymore. Now, doing the right thing is great, and everybody wants to do the right thing. But if you can't do the right thing if you're not doing the right thing in the right order, then you're going to have to restart.
Right.
Right.
I agree.
And that's what we're seeing with healthcare. Like, how are we going to change the healthcare system? Well, stop starting with the physical. Stop it. Right. Check the neurological, make sure everything's in line and it's functioning properly, then go to the physical. And your chances of finding the problem go up exponentially. And then if you go from the physical to the psychological, they'll go up eventually as well. So making sure that we're doing things in the proper order is important. It's so critically important to our health and to the system.
Oh, I know. You know, I couldn't stop thinking about you the whole time I was editing my book. I already had the notes, you know, from years ago, but I know more now than I did 20 years ago. So things had to be upgraded and updated, and the language and everything. And I just kept thinking about you because the order in which this is presented is totally in sync. And I did that 20 years ago. Doug didn't even know what I was doing. And when we talk about consciousness or awareness, if I'm not willing to even acknowledge or be aware of what needs to change, my chances of changing it are zero.
Yeah, it's like closing your eyes and throwing the dart against the wall and hoping to even hit the
Right?
board. Yeah. You might get lucky, right? But unlikely.
Yeah,
Unlikely.
exactly.
If you don't treat, here's what's being found out in the Neuroscience Society. If you don't treat the chronic health issues like high blood pressure, digestive disorders, and muscle weakness, you know, there'll be a greater risk of falls and physical injury, even in younger adults. Emotional and social withdrawal due to fear of movement and stability. Can you imagine being so afraid to move that you're gonna hurt yourself? Like, it doesn't have to be that way. And we're seeing the turnaround as soon as people realize that you can. It's funny, the human brain, how it works. As soon as people realize that you're measuring them and that they're able to see the report and their measurements, that stimulates their tenacity to step on board,
Right.
to really go for it. People love to be able to see the stuff and not just see it, but understand it.
Yes.
You know,
So
when you
we
get a
have a
medical,
question. Yeah.
yes, yeah,
I'm sorry,
question.
Doug. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
go.
Kathy Bell, our backup person at the Disability Channel, she's a caregiver to her senior parents. They're both in their 90s. Can you imagine? They just went on a cruise. Like, how cool is that?
Love it.
I know they went to, oh my goodness. But Kathy's asked a question. She said, can you build up bones in healthcare? Because a lot of seniors have weak bones or spinal stenosis. You know, are there such a thing as electrical impulses to build up bone or not? And
Yeah,
she gave me a word that I can't pronounce. So over to you.
the technology that we use is the same technology. Now, this piece of technology costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's been used by the space program for the last 12 years. It's called PEMF, and it's pulsing electromagnetic field therapy. It grounds you, and then it stimulates and pulses your electrical system. So it pulses your central nervous system, and we're using that to keep up many different areas of the body, many different areas. And the cool thing about this technology is you just have to lie in a gravity chair and put the pads and the electrical pads wherever you want them on your body, and just lie there and rest, and your body will pulse lightly with the frequency that is recommended. And the amazing thing is if you're on it for 30 minutes and when it stops, you actually miss it.
Oh,
You miss it. You don't. It stops, and I'm like, it's like, when you're scratching the dog's head and you stop scratching it, it comes back over.
yeah.
It's like that. It scratches something inside you that it's tangible and you can feel, and with you hydrate like crazy right after you get off this thing. It doesn't affect metal in your body at all, because I'm on it and I got metal all over my body, in my shoulder, in my neck, everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. And people can buy this stuff for their own home. I was in the Bahamas, as you know, down in Eleuthera, and I met somebody down there who wants to buy this technology so that they can have it in their home. And that's what the NFL football players are doing now. Like almost all the guys on San Francisco are I think can't remember which team, but there's one team that there's like 8 guys that have this technology, and they actually bring it with them when they go places. So they're so like they so believe, and it's true that this technology heals you, right?
Right. Well, when you said, when you stop, you miss it, I was thinking that sounds like an old boyfriend I had one time, because he used to give me body massages, and I'm going, oh, I miss him. No, I didn't miss him. I miss the body massages.
Yeah. But you know what? It's funny. It's hard to believe, and I suffer from it too. Because I could use this technology more than I do now, and get better and better. And it's hard when something is so easy, yet has
Yeah.
such great
Yeah.
results. You've got to somehow trick your mind into going, okay, I'm just going to do this easy thing and get a lot better on my own doing this, and 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 continue on that journey, because the central nervous system, it grows so slowly,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like a millimeter a week.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I've had all the nerve testing done and wanted to connect things that were disconnected because of my injury,
Right.
and they were very clear with me. If you want to grow it this much, it's going to take you like 8 weeks or 12 weeks
Right.
or of consistency, and
Right.
educating the patients about how that process works, so that they get their expectations in alignment, but and also so they're able to see their progress in the right light. And what we tell people is, which is true, is it's not linear. So your progress that you make is not linear. You get on a program where you go up slowly, 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 and then all of a sudden it turns straight upward.
Right.
So it's not linear, and just like failure just goes. You don't do the little things. You're not doing the little things. And then you slide off a cliff.
Yeah.
Right? It all doesn't happen at once, but it's a slow downhill. So we want to get your central nervous system on that slow uphill, that incline.
Right.
And as soon as we get it there, you start to feel these things that you felt before, but you didn't know where they were coming from, right? But they're coming from healing, and your clarity's coming back. And holy cow, you're and so that's the feeling I love to see in people, like when they come in and they're just feeling better overall, right? I call
Yes.
them huggy instead of rigid.
Right. Well, I guess, Kathy, the answer to your question is yes. So you and your parents may have to investigate putting that system in your home, and you could all use it, you and your brother and your parents. So, and then Kathy also said, kind of like training for a marathon, you just do a little bit at a time, and then all of a sudden you can run that, 500-yard dash in record-breaking time, right?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. That's
Right.
exactly how it works.
Okay.
I was always shocked how much I actually had in the tank when I needed it,
Uh-huh.
you know? And we're digging to the bottom of the tank right now, and there's nothing there. We just need to make sure we put some fuel in there.
Right on. So let me ask you, you've embraced the Apollo Center. You're on the staff, and you are the Chief Informational Officer, I believe. So let's tell us a little bit about your role there and how we might be able to support you.
Well, my role is quite straightforward. I want to make the owner, Dr. Vic Dewan, and you'll see him on the website of Apollo. And it's ApolloPTC.ca, by the way.
I'll
And
put
and
that
my,
up.
my Apollo PTC, and my role is to help iterate Dr. Vic's dream of changing the healthcare system into reality, and
Okay.
to make sure that the message that's getting out to the general population and to our clients is on the money, speaks to their wants and needs, and solves serious problems that are happening out there. So we're here to fill a gap, and Brain Champ, physical therapy, military is pretty close to where we're going.
Hmm.
And it's evolving as we go, as I'm developing the data sheets that are going to have to be attached to people when they sign up and when they do these things, so that we can know a little bit more about them. We're working on that piece now, and I'm just starting to go out and do interviews about what we're actually doing. So that's what's happening right now. We're operating very cautiously, because in the healthcare industry right now, you can get overwhelmed so quick. We could end up with a lineup outside the door,
Yes.
100 people long, and we don't want to put things in that position. We want to make sure that people are getting assessed, and that we have a very rigid way that we take people through it, so that we can actually provide some data to show people that it's working.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? We know it is, we know it will, and now we're going to do it on a bit of a bigger scale. So if you want treatment, if you want to know more, or you want a consultation on the phone, now's the time to get in line. Like we're
Hmm.
going to be doing our free assessments, for neurological assessments for clients, on Wednesdays.
Hmm.
And we have a target to fill up on Wednesdays for these free assessments, and then we're going to cap it, right? So we just have to make sure that we have the staff and the people in place to be able to handle the onslaught, because I believe that all the people that don't have doctors, and we saw this for the last 2 years through Dr. Vic, they want to know if he can be their family doctor,
I
right?
know.
It's
You
like it's
know,
anybody who has a badge.
absolutely. Every province has people, like the small little tiny province of Nova Scotia, 5 years ago had 3,000 people who didn't have a family doctor. And that's just grown since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine. Imagine.
So
Um,
yes, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, not that I'm an expert in that area that you're in right now, but I am when it comes to maybe if you wanted my support in fine tuning or tweaking that assessment application.
Well, I've already written across one of the pages that, that it's, and I think I mentioned this in a note to you about self-worth, right? The biggest inhibitor to the people coming in here, and I can see it in their faces, I get introduced to them, is self-worth. They got their head hanging. They get, it's like, it's been too long. I've been fighting this for. It's tired me out. I
Yeah,
don't think there's a solution, all that stuff.
right. And I wasn't particularly thinking about that, Doug, when I made the comment. Um, just that I wasn't even going there with that, but thank you
Oh,
for
but
sharing.
it's just about the questions that you have to
Yeah,
ask people, right?
yeah. And, here's the bottom line with self worth. If I don't think I deserve something, either to get well, get better, get healthy, if I don't think I deserve that, then I can't make the decisions and choices to do what I need to do,
Hmm.
you know? And that's so prevalent. So that's why, I've decided to convert my work into books because now people can have a working document. And actually, Kathy, who's online here with us, she was my first order. And thank you, Kathy, for that, because now I can take that document home and I can at least start some kind of journey on wellness. Might only be a stepping stone, but it might be the thing that would make someone pick up the phone and call you guys, Doug.
Yeah, yeah, and we're this option, this sort of unicorn out there that that that's cutting the path because of the childhood of Dr. Dwan, right? He's
Mm-hmm.
Canadian, first
Mm-hmm.
generation, Canadian, and had all sorts of balance issues and problems with because he was a forceps baby. And,
Mm-hmm.
and and so his whole life, he envisioned this when he was 10, 12 years old, and he has tremendous trouble reading, right? He and yet he got his chiropractic degree with like he was so focused on how going to change this whole thing, right, to a better way of healing.
Wow.
And so that's the guy that I interviewed everybody at the organization, about 20 people, and every single person was here because of him. So
Right. Right.
so I'm going to step to the background, follow Wayne Gretzky a little bit, and wait for him to drop the pass, for the big shot.
Right.
So
And
I'm dealing with the Wayne. I am dealing with like a Wayne Gretzky of healing.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And also too, if our viewers want to go back to our YouTube channel, go to our YouTube channel, Laurie Davis Show Host. We've interviewed Dr. Vic a couple of times, and you get to meet him in person on the show with Doug and I. So please feel free to go back and have a review because he was on a couple of our shows, Doug, and always a delight to interview. And I love his energy and everything about him. So if our audience would like more personal information regarding Dr. Vic, we've already interviewed him twice. So just do the archive thing, go back to
Yes.
YouTube, search Laurie Davis, Doug Smith, the press box, Dr. Vic. It's all there because we've had him on the press box.
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
And he's more than willing. We've been able to, believe it or not, Laurie, we've been able to take him to 20 patients a day,
Wow.
like half an hour with each patient, 10 hours, but everybody gets their half an hour, but everybody he touches, is feeling good about themselves. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what people are looking for.
Yeah.
They just want to feel a little bit better.
Well,
They want to feel cared about, right?
that's because he's a gifted healer.
Yes.
That's what you call that, a
Yes.
gifted healer.
Yes. Yes.
So we
And
need
now
to
you,
get behind him as, we need to get, those are the people on the planet that we need to get behind and support and do whatever we can to help them because that was a gift that he came with. And that needs to be nurtured and supported and promoted. And he can't do everything. That's his magic touch. So that's his gift. So all the other stuff like you're doing right now, or we're doing right now to promote the center, anything that any of us could do to get behind him, beside him, in front of him to protect that gift is
Mhm.
extremely important in my mind.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's what gives him energy, and I think that's what gives healers energy. They're doing it for a bigger reason than we might understand, right? And
Absolutely. Hmm.
yes, it was it was
Absolutely.
it was wonderful. I did a presentation yesterday for
Oh
a real
yes, tell us about
for
that. Like you
for
rocked. You
yeah,
rocked.
for a real estate firm, and
You
it
felt good
was
about
just
it?
it was a love in. Yeah, it was fantastic, and the people in real estate are a little bit different. They're like herding cats because they're all independent businesses.
I know.
And
Yeah.
so they, but I tell you, they're so open because they have to run their business that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was just a lot of hugs and a lot of thank yous to both them for having me in, because I don't get to speak locally that much. Very little, because you know what it's like, Laurie. You can't be a prophet in your own land, right?
No, not in your own hometown. You're going to have to come to Alberta.
Yeah, there you go. You
We'll
come
we'll book
here, you'll be
we'll book
famous.
it. I'll come there. You come here. We'll book a dinner with Wayne. You know. Um, yeah. Well, I'll be making a trip because I have some other reasons to come as well, and
Oh, that's fantastic.
yeah. And I just want to do a little plug if I can, because this might apply to a lot of our athletes out there, anybody in business. You know who our colleague is, Dr. Ramin Modiri.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he's doing a complimentary webinar on February. I call him my psychic, actually, on at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. I should say it's Mountain Time on February 11th. He's going to do a couple of hours on financial projections for 2025. So his stuff is all based on research, trends. Like he's an amazing trader and all that. So he's going to do a complimentary webinar for any of our colleagues and friends who would like to just come in and hear him speak about projections for financial investments and trends for 2025. So I just want to put a plug in for him, because I think a lot of our professionals and athletes and even our real estate agents who are making tons of money may not know how to or where to go. So I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, let's talk about how we can better promote it. This
Yes,
type of thing is on everybody's mind right now. January's gone by, everybody's drinking again. So,
that's
you
what he
know,
said.
so yeah, like getting
And
people in tune. Now 11 a.m. Mountain Time is what time Eastern Time?
one.
1 p.m.
Yeah. And because he's so modest and so gracious, he's not a really big, well, self promotion's really hard, right? To talk about ourselves. So again, we're going to get behind him, just like we're getting behind Dr. Vic. And that's what made me think of it, because he has a gift, and his gift is finance. Do you know,
Mhm.
Doug? I think you know this, but our listeners may not know, and our viewers. He and I do a show every Tuesday, but he has every financial designation you can actually get and earn
Wow. Wow.
in the United States of America.
Amazing.
He's a CFA, he's a CPA, he's got 2 MBA degrees. He's got like letters behind his name like bigger than my house.
And with what's going on in the world, what
Oh,
could be better? I mean, to be on the right side of this, the
big
obvious right
time,
side.
big
So,
time.
like, for people's financial health, you could hit it out of the park. Like, I'm going to be there myself. I'd like to promote this show, because
Yeah.
what an interesting subject
Yeah.
for right
And he
now.
he also, Kathy, to answer your question, Ramin always includes Canada. Always. And he does his research. He knows the history. I mean, he can take you back 100 years and tell you what was going on financially and how that's impacting us today. He's brilliant. So that's another one of our colleagues. So thank you, Doug, for allowing us to promote that today on the press box.
Oh yeah, well, Ramin is a close friend, and once you hear his story, it's that's the other side of it. You talk about the financial brains, but holy cow, what a story to get here that Ramin's been through.
Yeah.
From Iran to the U.S. to
Yeah.
financial success.
Yeah.
Not stepping on people. Like how do you do it on like just with the grit you have, right? So. He's a phenomenal dude, man. He's phenomenal.
He's he's the only bean counter I've ever met that has a heart bigger than the bean counting. Right.
Yeah. Everybody should be tuned into that, and
Okay.
anything else, with that has to do with setting goals. It seems, like this year just changed into the next year. It seems
I know.
like there was. Like it didn't happen, like it was nothingness. We're just going to go around another time. That's how it felt for me, and
Yes.
and I've talked to a lot of people, and they sort of feel the same way. What's your take on it with this transfer of years?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You feel the same way about it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's gather people together and let's get them going. Get them to the Ramin show, and
Yeah.
we'll get their their brain fog and their anxiety or depression, digestive issues, whatever they got, poor
Mm-hmm.
sleep. Oh, by the way, you can post this. This is exciting for me. It's been a long time to get this organized into a way that it's all
Okay.
there. So my meditations now are at mindovereverything.ca/meditate.
Okay.
So
Mind over
mindovereverything.ca
everything. Mm-hmm.
/meditate. And when you go there, you'll see all 8 presented really professionally. You've got some test meditations. It's really beautifully done. Like Paula
Mm-hmm.
Oness did an absolutely stellar job at putting it together. So I just like people to see it. It works.
Yeah.
What she says there, it does work. So jump on in and test it out and let me know how it goes. I challenge
Absolutely.
anybody to try to listen to the awareness meditation, follow the suggestions, and stay awake. I haven't talked to anybody that's been able to stay awake. Just
Yeah. Well,
don't listen to it while you're driving, okay?
no. Okay, well, Doug, our time is up. Can you believe how fast that hour went? And I just want to thank you for allowing me to interview you today with your most recent position and projects. And, you're more than just a hockey player, and I'm more than just a teacher. Um, we have so expanded beyond those former careers of ours. So thank you so much, Doug, for everything. And we heard you loudly and clearly. And we look forward next week. I'm going to see about getting my female football coach on the show. And she's like 5'2" and she coaches football. Can you believe
Oh
that?
my God, that's so cool. Yeah.
I know. So we'll say goodbye to everybody right now, Doug.
And I'll next week I'll bring my visibility with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that this thing is working so I can do it on my phone. And if we get a
Mhm.
minute or two, I'll show people around. So thanks,
Yeah.
Laurie. It was great interview by you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, tomorrow we'll be back at the same time for Fun Friday, and I'm going to be interviewing Fraser Newcomb from Nova Scotia, who is in his 80s, still performing. He will be performing at the Invictus Games in Whistler, British Columbia next month.
Wow.
So that's my guest tomorrow for our Fun Friday. And he's so cool.
And what time, Laurie?
Same time.
Same
Same
time.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
good stuff.
1 p.m. Eastern, um, 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Mountain Time. Right on.
All right, Laurie. Well, listen, you have a wonderful day. Make it a great one.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for being here. Bye for
Bye,
now.
everyone.